Guys, so today's reading is going to be a reading on what your deceased pet that you lost has to say to you, how they felt about you, what they thought of you and your relationship together. And I also have this book called Believe. Don't mind the little bit of stuff on the cover here. um, it's a best-selling book by artist N.A. Noel, and it's got a bunch of different writers in it who write a bunch of different stories to go with the art in here. So this one is to my Uncle Bobby, who shared my love for animals, and my horse El Cadre, who filled my life with devotion, N.A. Noel. And then to my mother and father for their love and belief in me, and to Buster, my childhood dog and dear old friend whose memory inspired the story, A.A. Nolfo Wheeler. In heaven, children angels spend their days frolicking in blossoming gardens filled with brightly colored flowers. They play among the sweet-scented fruit trees on soft wind-swept grassy pathways. In heaven, children angels sometimes nap in the warmth of the sunlight, and other times dance barefoot and spread their wings to enjoy the tickle of an occasional shower. There are no thunderstorms in heaven, just gentle rains that are always followed by rainbows. Jacob is a little boy who lives in heaven with lots of other children angels from all over the world. Jacob loves heaven, and he loves being an angel. In heaven, he was reunited with his grandmother and grandfather. Though only 6 years old, he could remember his grandmother's gentle touch and the fun he and his grandfather had playing in his big backyard on earth. In heaven, there is no pain or sorrow. Jacob does not feel sad that his parents are not with him. Instead, he rejoices that one day all of them will be together again forever and ever. Weeks passed, and Jacob began to notice that his angel friends were caring for all kinds of different creatures. Some children had dogs, while others had cats or bunnies or goats. One shy, sweet little angel, Michael, had a gentle, fuzzy llama named Minnie. Jacob wanted a pet to care for, too. On Earth he had had a white puppy he called Gracie and a mouse by the name of Morsel. Morsel's favorite pastime was sitting in the palm of Jacob's hand while nibbling a piece of cheese. Grace and Jacob would play in the park for hours and then come home to rest in the shade of Jacob's favorite tree. One afternoon, Jacob asked Angelica, a wise child angel, where the creatures in heaven came from. Jacob admired Angelica's beautiful white dove. Angelica was delighted by Jacob's inquiry and decided that he was ready to learn about his spiritual purpose in heaven. "You see, Jacob," whispered Angelica, "children have an important and wonderful purpose here. These extraordinary creatures that are being cared for by the children of heaven all once had a life on earth just like you." "You mean like my puppy Gracie on earth?" "Yes, Jacob, just like Gracie. Here we entrust the children angels with the care of those loyal animals. This is because little children in all of these loving pets have very similar souls. Children and their pets have a lot in common." "I don't understand," said Jacob with a shrug. "I don't remember being anything like my puppy Gracie." "Well, you certainly didn't have a furry coat or a wagging tail," chuckled Angelica, "but your hearts were in the same place. Children and animals are both innocent. They need our gentle care, respect, and love. Children and animals are two of God's greatest gift to the world. Their love is honest and true. Animals are a blessing, Jacob, just like you." "But why do the other children have animal companions and I do not?" "Well, you were new here, Jacob. Caring for an animal is a big responsibility. I felt that you should take some time to get to know your new surroundings before your first assignment." "Assignment? What assignment?" "Your special purpose, Jacob. And the special purpose of all little children in heaven is being trusted with the care of a pet. Some angels are assigned to ponies, while others care for kittens, birds, or even lambs. We know that children can give animals loving attention until they're reunited with their human companions. At that time, you will receive a new animal to love. You are going to have many beautiful and enchanting animal friends here in heaven, Jacob." I wonder if some of those children get to go to the farms with all the animals when their owner comes back. They're going to need some help. "Oh, Angelica, I can't wait any longer for my assignment. May I have one soon?" Jacob's wings fluttered with anticipation. "As a matter of fact, a friend arrived for you today, a heavenly friend whose name is Snowflake." In an instant there was a burst of stardust. and suddenly a big fluffy bunny appeared in Jacob's arms. Jacob embraced his new friend with all the love his heart could give. He quickly gave Snowflake a kiss on the head. Jacob felt warm and happy. There were no words to express his joy. He turned towards the gardens, excited to share the arrival of his new friend with the other angels. Just before Jacob flew away, he turned back towards Angelica. "Angelica," he said softly, "this means that not just people go to heaven?" "Yes, Jacob, it means all God's creatures go to heaven." "Even Gracie?" Jacob asked with a smile. "Yes, Jacob. Someday, even Gracie." The end. So I just thought that that was a really good book that fits this occasion, and I also had told Georgia S. about it in our conversation in the comments, and so I wanted to share that with you guys because it's beautiful to think that, just because they aren't here with us doesn't mean that they aren't somewhere loving, somewhere warm, somewhere peaceful, somewhere amazing. So for pile 1, let's get started with your message from your animal friend. I miss our time together. I used to enjoy playing with you so much. To chase toys, your hand, flashlights, and rope wars. And I miss your belly rubs and how you always used to scratch just the perfect spot, especially that one right on my butt. Know that I'll always watch over you as good as you did for me. I love you. I got a lot of love and just a lot of energy and a lot of happiness from this pile, which is really funny because what they thought about you was how much peace and calm you brought to them, how much clarity, how much stability, how much grounded energy, how much you used to communicate with them, and it just brought them so much peace and so much calmness. And they were just very, very energetic, very playful, very happy, very ready to run and have fun and enjoy life and everything. And they may have even got in trouble sometimes for being a little rambunctious, but you were always calming, always soothing in your voice, in your actions, in the way that you talked to them, and they just felt so calm in your presence, and they really felt like you had the key to being able to see inside of them and being able to express yourself in a way that just brought them so much stability and calm energy. So we have the swan. Yeah, once again with that calm energy. You brought a lot of calm to them, a lot of clarity to them. You really brought a lot of stability to them. They really admired you and they really loved you. They really looked to you as a leader and somebody that they could follow. Somebody that really made them feel very safe and secure and secure and stable. And somebody who was very graceful, very elegant, very calming, very able to handle a mess with dignity, integrity, peace. Somebody who really was not overly aggressive with them at all. You were very sweet, kind, patient, loving. They felt like you were able to really be very flexible and adaptable with their cheeky ways and with their ability to get in a lot of trouble. They really sometimes felt like they didn't deserve you. They might have felt a little bit ashamed of themselves at times. Maybe you even told them shame on you and they kind of, ooh, I'm so bad, and kind of went and hid their face, They had a lot of passion, they were very headstrong, very bullheaded, very stubborn, very, possibly even very strong. This could have been even a very big dog. Could have even been a snake, honestly. Or birds. Could have been a bird. You could have had a bird. I was kind of leaning more towards dogs but could have been another animal. So anyway, they really felt like you were just a very balanced person who really, they felt very completed with you. They felt like they belonged to you and you belonged to them, and you guys were just this happy, beautiful family, that you guys had a lot in common too, though, and that you guys really just fit together very well, and they really just felt like they would be at peace and balance eternally with you. Like, no matter the situation, you always transformed it to find the good, to find the beauty, and to find the peace within it. So that's what I have for this pile, and I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. And I hope that you guys had a beautiful, or have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Oh, and I would absolutely love to hear if this fit you or your situation in the comments below. And also offer personal readings through my Skype link if you're interested in that. You can hit me up, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. So for pile 2, the channeled message I got: I wish I could stop your tears. When I was with you, I'd try so hard. Sometimes I could. Other times you would hold me tight and just cry. But it seemed to help, so I stayed. Please don't cry. I love you so much. I get a lot of emotional energy from that. That might have been a very emotional animal. An animal that just really had a very deep heart and a lot of emotion and just loved you so much. And when you used to cry, maybe they would crawl up on you and love on you, or try to distract you by playing with you, or maybe they would pull on your hair a little bit, or, talk in your ear or lick you, things like that, and just to try to make you feel better and to make you feel happy. So this is how they felt about the way you were with them and how you guys were together. Maybe you might have even put them in some sort of school for dogs, or school for animals, some sort of training school or finishing school, or maybe you worked really hard with them to train them as well. I think that might be it for more of you, that you worked really hard. It was very heartfelt, and you worked very hard to work with them, to train them, to really connect to them. And you may have had your moments where, both of you may have had your moments where things were not so pretty. You guys may have had some disagreements at times that just were not so pretty, because there's a rose on this, and it really makes me think of the proverb that says, he who loves the rose must respect the thorns. So, you guys may have each been a little bit prickly at times, and there may have been some really hard situations that you guys faced in training together, in learning how to work together and grow together. And this is actually, I think this is a griffin. It's but there's a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, a lot of integrity, and really you really earned their respect with a griffin. Like in Harry Potter, with the griffins that they were working with on there, you had to earn their respect. You had to be willing to bow down to them and respect them, so they would respect you as well. And you really did. You really respected the fact that they might have been a little prickly. They might have had a few thorns. Maybe they were even an animal that was, maybe you found them or got them from an abusive situation in the past, where you really had to work to get through to them and to get them to understand that you were there to love them and protect them. We have the bat. So you guys had a very telepathic connection. You guys really jived together. You could really sense when they needed something, and you really came through for them. And maybe you're even sensing or feeling them with you. Just know that they are with you, and they will never leave you. They are watching over you. They know that you're sad. They know that you're hurt and that you're upset, and they really just want to be able to take your pain away. If you feel them and you feel some sort of comforting, warming presence when you're in sadness or pain, just know that that's them, and they are watching over you. We have the Empress, the Hanged Man, the High Priestess, and the Ten of Wands. And so, there might have been a lot of burdens caused by this tragedy. There could have been a lot of burdens caused by having to deal with some of the things you had to deal with in training this animal. But you always are the type to stop and to take stock of the situation, to look at things from every perspective possible, and to really release your burdens in that situation, and to be that loving, nurturing, caring, abundant, creative, fertile, beautiful person, and to really tap into your intuition to see what they needed and what was going on with them and why they were behaving the way that they were behaving. You always were just very good at connecting to them and really just having that very strong connection to them and to the signs, the synchronicities you were receiving or seeing, and to the different, maybe there was different symptoms leading up to this animal's death as well. And maybe you knew it was coming and you were very burdened by it. And maybe you were even upset and crying because you knew this death was coming. And you had to be there throughout the process. Maybe you had to be there through all of the medical things, or all of the, maybe there was nothing you could even do. Maybe it was just something terminal that was going to happen no matter what. Maybe it was old age. I don't know exactly what it was, but I really feel like you knew beforehand. And you had to go through a lot because of it. And that you were really upset. And they were just trying to make you feel better because they couldn't understand why you were so upset. They just loved you and were happy to be with you, no matter what was going on. I'm sorry, I got very, very, very emotional in that one. I can feel a lot of emotional energy. I hope anybody who is watching this is doing okay. And like your animal says, they just want you to stop crying. So I hope that you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, whenever you're watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Let us know your pet's name. Remember, tell us a story about them. And telling those stories about the good times together, it really does help us to overcome the grief and the pain. And if you're interested in a personal reading, my Skype link is in the description box below, so you can hit me up on there. Bye, guys. On to pile 3. So for pile 3, let's get your message first. I love you so much and I miss you dearly. Part of me almost wishes that you could be here with me. But I know you still have things to do there. I'll see you when you get here. And so, just to throw this out here, Georgia, this is the pile that I really was focused on you in. Although I did kind of feel pile 1 pulling on you as well while I was doing that one. So both could resonate with you. And let me know if you picked this pile in the comments below and if it resonated or not. So you could be very upset at what's going on here. You could have even at times gotten very upset with this animal. I think this animal really, really was very attention-seeking sometimes, and they really were they could have been a small animal, one that really felt much bigger than they were, and at times, but they also were just this small little animal that really wanted to just be with you all the time and love on you all the time, and maybe they got into some trouble at times, maybe they, they could have been very childish, like a little kid almost, kind of. But I think your guys's connection together was one that was very spiritually connected, one that was very pure, very loving, a lot of love in this pile. And you might have gotten upset at times, they might have even gotten upset at times, but you guys knew that you loved each other and you always came back together and you always forgave each other. You always had so much fun together, and they really, really enjoyed. It was like they were your child. It was like they were your child. And like you were always there to teach them and work with them and grow with them and love them. And they felt very, very, very lucky to be your child, to be your fur baby, to be your animal, to be your pet. They felt very lucky, like they had just hit the lottery. And maybe there might even be some luck coming to you as well in choosing another one, or in finding something else to fill that spot, and not to replace them, because you could never replace someone you loved so much. Look how much you loved this animal. It was very pure, very heartfelt, very motherly, very nurturing, very caring, or fatherly. Very, very, very amazing love that you shared with this animal here, and they just felt so lucky to be with you, and they feel like maybe the reason they have been taken out of your life is so that you can be this for another. They opened the door for another animal to be so lucky as to have you as an owner. We have the cheetah. So your animal may have been very, very, very fast-paced and just really strong, vibrant, happy, passionate, very, they could have been very expressive in their facial expressions. They could have smiled a lot. They could have gave you grumpy looks when they were upset. They could have really just had a lot of passion and a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. They may have even been, a cattle dog or something like that. They may have been a dog that really just had a lot of energy, a lot of vibrance, a lot of vitality, a lot of get up and go energy, and ready to move and work and do things. And they just had a lot of energy, and maybe at times that might have been the problem between the both of you too, is that they just had a lot of energy. That's kind of why I like my little dogs. My little dogs, they have a fair amount of energy, but at the same time, they don't have a problem with just chilling. Son of Cups, Hierophant, King of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the Seven of Wands. So they really look to you as a leader. They look to you as the one to do what was right. And they really look to you as the one to tell them what was right, to show them what was right. They also may have brought you a lot of gifts as well. If this was a cat, they could have brought you home like snakes or lizards or bugs or mice, stick them in your shoes, stick them in your bed, things like that. That could be why there might have been some moments of anger there or upsetness. Maybe you stuck your foot in a shoe and there was a mouse in there or something. But they were really bringing you these gifts because they loved you so much, and they didn't understand why you weren't liking these gifts, but they wanted to express their love, and they wanted to express their affection and their happiness and joy at having you in their life. And they just really felt so lucky and so abundant. And maybe they feel like in this cycle ending and a new one beginning for you, there's going to be a lot of luck and abundance that comes into your life as well. There's going to be a lot of emotional growth that you get out of this process. And I think that they're very proud of you for this emotional growth as well. You're learning to communicate more maturely and better as well. And maybe you learned a lot of that through working with them too. But you might have been somebody that was very just, you brought the hammer down. When they were in trouble, and you were upset, period. And they just felt so ashamed and like, oh, I did something wrong. I hurt you. I just gotta go lay over here by myself, and I'm sorry. I kind of do that sometimes with my dogs a little bit. They kind of get that way sometimes. We have our moments, but they knew at the end of the day that you loved them. And that was what was important to them, is that you loved them. You loved them so much. You were willing to change so many different things in your life to work around them. And you really, if anybody else had anything to say to them, you were right there to be at their defense and to stand strong and to tell people to get out of your face. This is the way your dog lives, or your animal lives, or your cat, your bird, whatever it is that you have. This is the way that they live. This is the way I raise them. This is what I expect, and I'm not going to change that for you. If you don't like the way my animals are, get out of my house. You would have been somebody who would have said something like that to somebody as well. You were really defensive of them, protective of them, and you loved them very immensely, and they saw this. Even if sometimes your guys' relationship might have been a little bit prickly, they always knew just how much you loved them, and they want you to know that they love you too. And that they really miss you. They very, very much so miss you. But they also know that you still belong here, that there are still things you need to do. There are still other animals for you to be here for. There are still other things for you to do. Battles for you to fight. You know what you're supposed to be doing, they say. And I really hope that's what I have for this message. I really hope this fit your situation, and I would absolutely love to hear if this resonated with you in the comments below. And I also am offering personal readings through my Skype link if you're interested in that, so you can go ahead and hit me up on there if you are. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye.